She declared her opposition to Brexit in 2016, but in a strange turn of events, Liz Truss will now take over from Lord Frost to be Britain's chief Brexit negotiator with the EU. Truss is currently serving as the country's foreign secretary. While in the position, she negotiated post-Brexit deals with the likes of Australia and Japan. Given this pedigree, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has asked her to take on the vacant role. And what of Lord Frost? In his resignation letter, he cited the government's new pandemic restrictions as among the reasons for walking away. During his time as chief negotiator, he was known for his confrontational style, as he tried to get a new deal with the EU after the country already signed a Brexit agreement. With Truss's appointment, Boris Johnson will be looking to steady the ship following weeks of political turmoil within his government.
This week as you were doing last week. That's just good. Unbelievable.
British Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has started her new job as lead negotiator in post-Brexit talks with the EU after Lord Frost resigned as Brexit minister. He stepped down over the government's COVID policy, although he'd been reportedly persuaded to stay on until January, until the news was leaked on Sunday. Truss's first task will be to decide whether this is the time to change direction and reset the UK's tense relationship with the EU. I'm joined now by Euronews correspondent Tig Enright in London. Tig, hi, thanks for being with us today. So, what more can you tell us about Truss?
Hi, Andrea. Well, I think probably the most interesting element of Liz Truss's background is that she is somebody who back in 2016 campaigned for the UK to remain in the European Union. And now she's the one who's been sent into a battle, as it were, with Brussels about the future of the Northern Ireland Protocol. Compare that with her predecessor, indeed all of her predecessors, who were fierce critics of the European Union. So I think the hope, maybe not quite the expectation, but the hope is that she might be less ideologically driven, perhaps more pragmatic when it comes to finding a resolution to this dispute. Certainly the noises that we're hearing coming out of Dublin is that they think Liz Truss will be easier to deal with than David Frost. Even if she is a professed Brexiteer now, you have to be among Boris Johnson's top team. And indeed much of her previous experience in government has prepared her for this role. She was at one point Environment and Agriculture Minister, and previous to her current role as Foreign Secretary, she was at the Department for International Trade, where her job was negotiating trade deals. And in her time there, she rolled over many of the trade deals that the UK benefited from under its EU membership and did negotiate new trade deals with Australia and New Zealand. At the time, she famously, or people close to her, tried to brief newspapers as she pushed the Australian negotiator in an uncomfortable chair. Now, how successful has she been in negotiating trade deals? Well, that's open to interpretation, I think you could say. But I think it is fair to say that on the European side, they are happier to be talking to her rather than David Frost. And keep in mind as well, she is still Foreign Secretary. That's a very important, time-consuming job. Question I'd have is that suggests that the UK is hoping that she'll be wrapped up with these negotiations pretty quickly.